Today I want to talk about helping your older dog adjust to bringing a new puppy home. A lot of the time we tend to give our new puppies a lot of freedom in the house, and this can hinder us in a lot of ways around potty training and particularly around introducing the puppy to older dog. Imagine for a minute from your old dog's perspective, who has had, the house and you to themselves and has had a routine and has had a way that they do things for the last 11, 12, 13, 14 years. And now you bring this little bundle of really rude energy into the house. If we want to have successful relationships and interactions between our older dogs and our puppies, how we introduce and manage is an important part of that. We cannot expect that our puppy will just make good choices when they're interacting with our older dog. They are the equivalent of a 2-year-old, and we don't really expect 2-year-olds to make good choices. So let's not expect our puppies to make good choices. If we stick with the 2-year-old analogy, who's responsible for a 2-year-old? The parents or the adults are. Same way the parents and the adults are responsible for our puppies. So one thing that is going to be very helpful with introducing puppy and older dog is confinement and management. So things like your leash, crate, X-pen, baby gates, some way that you are able to physically separate puppy from older dog. Your old dog has earned their right to a restful retirement. They don't need to be, the ones teaching puppy how to appropriately interact. They didn't really get a say in whether you brought puppy into the home or not. So that's our job to do. So it's okay for our puppy to be on leash in the house around our older dog. It's okay to have our puppy in a crate for some downtime so that the older dog gets a break during, the day. It's okay to have our older dog in a separate room for an hour or so. A lot of people, we feel guilty about that. And we feel that we're kind of punishing our older dog. But I promise your older dog will probably be very grateful to have that break from the energy of a puppy. It's also okay for our older dog to have certain privileges that our puppy doesn't have yet, like the older dog being allowed on the couch while the puppy isn't, or the older dog being allowed to sleep on the bed while the puppy isn't. Those kind of things are okay to give the older dog their space. If your puppy is larger or a larger breed than your older dog is, you want to be very careful about what kind of interaction you're allowing between them, because puppy in their exuberance can very easily hurt a smaller, fragile, older dog. We don't want that. So if you have a larger breed puppy and a smaller breed older dog, or a very exuberant puppy who tends to want to jump all over your older dog, leashes and barriers are going to be really important so that you can make sure we're not allowing puppy the opportunity to practice that behavior with an older dog, because we don't want them, jumping on the older dog unexpectedly and hurting their back or their hips, or, if they've got arthritis, causing any kind of pain there. And please don't think that you will be fast enough to grab puppy every time puppy's going to try and jump on the older dog. So if you have those tendencies in the puppy, keep them on a leash when they're around the older dog. But not just on a leash. Teach them what you want them to do instead. So instead of, I'm going to run up and jump all over adult dog because I want to play, how about me as the person is going to give my puppy a tug to play with, or a Kong filled with frozen peanut butter, or do some mat training with their dinner and keep them down on their mat for a couple of minutes while we do that. We're trying to keep their brains engaged. We're trying to teach them good manners. Not allowing them access to your older dog is only one part of it, right? If we don't teach them what we want them doing instead, or teach them to ignore the older dog and we're just putting a barrier there and puppy is desperate to get to the older dog behind the barrier, that's management, but we're not doing any training and teaching them what we want them to do instead. So get your puppy on leash, decide ahead of time what you want them to do instead. So we're going to practice, you look at the older dog, you want to run over there, we're going to practice a sit or a down or a touch, or here's a toy or something else to keep puppy occupied, rather than I want to go see the adult dog. Your older dog will be grateful for it. Your puppy will learn good manners around your older dog that way, and you'll have a much more harmonious home. Thanks, guys. Any comments, questions, feedback, I welcome them. Thank you.